what's up guys? Welcome back to Duster Bust. It's a beautiful Saturday morning here in Cincinnati. A little bit windy, but you know, good day to drive on our engine build. All right, so made the choice. Cam bearings are gonna be good enough, leaving those alone. We are driving on. All right, when I put the crank assembly on the first time, I did not know about chasing the threads. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, clean out all of these threads, get the crank assembly back in, get the pistons in. That's the goal for today. And then if we can get a little bit further, all the better. So here we go. All right, so today I was lucky enough to have the help and company of Jim Williams, retired Navy and local hot rodder. Jim served during Vietnam and the Cold War and has built many engines. Right now he's driving a 1980 Corvette that he put a 383 in that he built himself. I'm going to start doing a couple showcases of local cars that people have built, and Jim's is going to be one of the first ones that I do. So pretty awesome Corvette that he's built up. So we're going to do that here in the near future, but it was an honor to spend time and listen to some of the stories that Jim had. So thanks again, Jim. Alright, so far pretty smooth sailing. I went ahead and got my pistons in place, torqued down the rods, and then I went through and I checked the gaps, and everything looked good except my gap between my number 3 and number 4 rods here, rod caps, was a little tight. So I'm going to pull these off and investigate just to make sure that nothing's wrong there. I had previously plastic gauged everything the first time I built it up, and everything was fine. But I'm going to go ahead and just spot check a few once I get this issue resolved. I'm just going to do a couple plastic gauge spot checks. Alright, so I was a little tight between 3 and 4. Went ahead, took it apart, inspected everything, made sure there weren't any burrs or anything. It all looked fine. Put it back together, just paying a little bit extra attention to the placement. Torqued it back up, checked it again. It's fine, so all good. Moving on. Gonna go ahead and do a couple plastic gauge checks, and then I think we're gonna call it there for the day. Alright, so I was actually measuring my rod to rod gap incorrectly. There's a lot of specifications, and I looked at it incorrectly, and I was measuring on all sides. But now that I can, you know, see it a little bit better, and I have everything torqued down, all of them have just a little bit of play, which is good. I think that's correct, and I did plastic gauge it, so I have the right bearing clearance, so I'm good there. But my number earlier, I was having an issue on 3 to 4, and when I went through and I felt them all, they all have just a little bit of wiggle, which I think allows them to float and stay in the right position. And number 4 was pretty much locked up, so I took it off, and now I'm gonna torque it back down. But as of right now, it feels good again. And then the right way to measure it is when you have that little bit of play, you know, you can push them outwards, and you can stick your feeler gauge in between. And now I'm looking at the right specification, and it lines up with what I'm supposed to have, so that's good. So what I need to do now is I need to torque these down and make sure that I maintain that little bit of play. So let's do that, and then hopefully we'll be done, because I'm getting a little tired. I can move it, but these others move much more freely. These others I can just gonna wiggle it with one hand. This one I gotta really get on it. Let me plastic gauge that one. I don't think I did that one. I did number, I think I did number like 7 and 1 or 5 and 1, but I did not do number 4. So why don't we go ahead and do that just to be sure. So unfortunately this gauge only goes to 1 thou. The tolerance actually allows up to half a thou. So I believe we're going to be within that, because we're a little bit bigger than the 1 thou. But I think it would stretch quite a bit more to get to the half thou. So it's probably within tolerance. It's a little bit more than the others, and that makes sense why it would have less freedom in travel once it's torqued down. What can I do about it? Let me know if I'm doing something silly here. I'm gonna do something and comment and let me know if there was a better option. But I'm fine on this side. I'm a little tight here. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna leave the piston in because I don't really want to mess with all that again. But I'm gonna pull the little bearing out, and I'm just gonna go through and sand it a little bit, and hopefully open up that gap just a hair and try it again. All right, so I went ahead and just gave them a quick hit with some 1000 grit. Not a lot, didn't want to go crazy, just wanted to just give it a little polish, and we'll put it back together here and see how it is. Okay. Ugh. Feel like I got grease all over my face. Put our matching side on, watching the orientation. I screwed that up once before. Still tight. Still tight. I mean, it is movable. Yeah, that, you know, obviously moves easy under the little tap. And I believe based on the bearing clearance, it's probably, you know, my gauge doesn't actually go to that, but the plastic gauge doesn't, but it's not far off of the thou, so I don't think it's all the way down to half a thou for sure. All right, so unfortunately that's all I have time to do today. It's still tight. You can move it, but it doesn't move the same as the rest of them, so that concerns me. Let me know what you think. Is it probably fine, or should I sand a little more? Should I maybe try to take a look at the crank in that position, maybe go through that a little bit, maybe sand that a little bit? Is there something else I should be thinking about? So let me know. I'm gonna wrap this up for the day, and then I'll probably be back out here again tomorrow trying to figure something out. So all right, thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and we'll see you soon.